We were created with a structure of having our brain's location is higher than our hearts. That is why so many people say that the influence of our mind is stronger than our emotions. But if I'm going to ask you, what will you follow? Your mind or your heart? Nowadays, there are so many questions that bother our minds, like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And why are leaves green? Those are just few things that needs a definite answer. Paths, choices, decisions, and even right or wrong. These are the words that lie beneath the word analytical thinking. But what is it? How does it affect our lives? And what does it have to do with being a leader? Good afternoon to each and everyone. I am James Estrada Ordiliano, 16 years of age, a pride of Minoyan National High School, a CAM salute, and I am here in front of you to talk about the another step through leadership, which is being an analytical thinker. It is a skill in the areas of thinking and reasoning. It is also characterized by analysis rather than inflection. And it is a thinking style that enables a person to break down complex information or a series of comprehensive data. And that's what analytical thinking is according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. So basically, by being able to acquire this characteristic can be acquired these days. Especially now, we cannot ignore the fact that the world is getting more and more complex and competitive each day. As the age of science, technology, and advancement progresses, our generation should recognize our underlying issues. That is why we need people with this kind of ability to recognize all the information gathered related to the said arguments, integrate all the pieces, and at last, we can make decisions. But it is the hardest part. Yes, the hardest part. Because you are stuck between loads of choices, tons of ideas, and different perspectives coming from you. And the best way to find those wise decision makers is by making them. To make all decisions and solutions right. Now, to tell you frankly, this is a quite important ability to use in our everyday lives. Why? Because our whole life is a logic that needs analytical thinking in order to solve problems. For example, in making the simplest choices, we use this type of process, right? Let me tell you a story. There was a story from the Bible that was written in 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 16 to 28. This was a story of a great king named King Solomon. Do you know him? King Solomon, who did a great example of being an analytic person. Once, there were two women who asked the guidance from King Solomon because they were arguing about their newborn babies. They both gave birth at the same time, but unfortunately, the second woman's baby died. Instead of accepting it, she rolled up and got the other woman's baby in exchange of her dead baby. After the situation, they went to King Solomon. No one wanted to give up the baby. So King Solomon decided to cut the baby into two. So in that case, they could share the baby's body, right? Okay. Then, after the decision, the second woman agreed. But the first woman cried. And she said, "Let the baby to be alive, and I would give it to her." Then King Solomon decided to give the baby to the first woman because he knew that no mother wants to get her child hurt. On that story, King Solomon proved that he is a great example of being an analytic person, and he deserves the wisdom that Jesus gave to him. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention for I am about to tell you a very important thing. Now, I am gonna elaborate the correlation between analytical thinking and leadership. So basically, by being able to think analytically is a plus point for you as a future leader. But how can we connect this with being a leader? As a leader, we have to use this ability to be able to solve problems that we encounter. In decision making, we should analyze first, then plan, organize, and direct for controlling all the good individuals. As a leader, it is important to achieve our goals and objectives within a limited span of time or budget. And as a leader, to think analytically, we should have unique ways of strategizing things. So now, obviously, analytical thinking is not necessarily intuitive, and the talent areas may not come easily to everyone. It is not a one-day change. It is an everyday step. In leadership, there are 4 things that the Kainaan Farmers Training Center exposure had taught us. And these are work, service, sacrifice, and pioneering spirit. So, if we will associate these 4 with analytical thinking, it will direct us to the path of success. To be able to work efficiently, you must be creative. To be able to serve fully, you must be free of negativity, which will give you a great focus and a clear mindset. To be able to sacrifice is like serving. And lastly, to be able to have that pioneering spirit, you must be think of ways. Complex and great ways of how we can do it. So now, I can conclude that we have to think analytically and clearly to be able to get an answer to all of our problems. Assume nothing. Question everything. Open your eyes, your heart, and your mind. Challenge yourself. Start thinking. Then, make a change. Again, I am James Estrada Ordeliano, a Cam Salute, and I can proudly to say that I am a leader. Because leaders think analytically. Thank you and be wise.